Okay, so we are live on another episode. We still don't have a name for our show yet, Stefan, but we'll come up with one soon. And today we have a special guest, Miguel from the Global Madridista, is joining us today. And welcome, Miguel.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It was really cool. When I got your email, I thought, what a great idea. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. So it's gonna be a nice episode today, hearing your take on Madrid, which we already know a little bit of, but hearing it on the channel. And then Stefan, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. It's my day off, so I'm pretty good today.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
So now you're nice and fresh and ready for the episode.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good. So I think we can get into it. So the international break is finished, and now we're heading into or preparing for the game against Getafe. And I think the next few games is going to be quite interesting for Madrid because now until the next international break, we have 6 games, 4 in La Liga and then 2 in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're going up against Barcelona in El Clásico. Barcelona have a few injuries, which with some players a little bit doubtful for that game. Madrid, I think, for that game will be pretty much okay. Just continuing from how we took it off. But Miguel, if you can let us know how you've seen Madrid's Xavi ball and some of the players performing this season. Just a summary.
Yeah, no, it's a fascinating year. I mean, I think it's exciting. I think, look, there's so much hype around, Real Madrid. I don't think there's another club in the world that commands so much scrutiny. So, Real Madrid loses one match and you think it's the end of the world. And I think that sometimes that kind of, it impedes us from really looking at things kind of objectively. All of a sudden everybody kind of, the house is on fire. This is a disaster. I think the game against Atletico was I think, a terrible match. And, we all know the mistakes that were made. And I think Xabi made a couple of, pretty big mistakes. But we do have to zoom out a little bit. I think if we zoom out and are a little bit more patient, look, this is a squad that has come together. This is a new squad. We have new players, a new manager, a new system. A lot of these players are very young. Okay, we had one terrible away match, committed a lot of mistakes, but on the whole, I think that we're playing a lot better than we did last year. I think in the other matches, I think that we're exploiting our speed. We're using the space. I think we're using the entirety of the squad, which is really great. So you're seeing a lot of rotation. So I think the football that we're playing is a lot quicker. The ball circulates more quickly. It's a lot more vertical, even coming out of the back. A lot of sort of low, deep balls looking for the wings. It's much more vertical. It's much quicker. And a lot of players are really shining. So the Atletico match was a horrible blemish, but I think we all need to kind of calm down because I think there are a lot of things that look really good.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything.
Stefan.
I just
I think so.
So I mean, I don't. Obviously the big problem we're going to have now is in terms of injuries and selection. And I think one of the things that you mentioned on your topic list was if I think Fede will play right back. And I think that in the next few matches, there's no way that he doesn't. Trent isn't ready, Carvajal isn't ready, and even Carvajal, even though he's a massive name, and there's probably a lot of kind of emotional sort of urgency to play him because of everything that he represents for the club and his pedigree, etc. I think that if he's not 100% fit, Xabi has to be very careful because the mistake that he made with Jude at the Wanda Metropolitano, Jude was not ready to play that match. And that was a very visible mistake. And I think that Xabi needs to be careful to not make another one of those because, Jude wasn't ready. And I think in the right back position, until Trent or Carvajal are really, truly 100% fit, I think Fede is going to have to play. There's just no other option.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to Fede Valverde, like right back, I think in these coming games, it's going to be really important for him to play that position because, yeah, Asensio can come in and do a good job defensively, but Valverde gives you a lot more defensively and then also going up front as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think for these upcoming games, like Fede needs to play that position because Trent is not going to be fit enough, match fit, if he does come back early. Carvajal, even what the games he has played, he hasn't been the Carvajal of old. And of course, that's reasonable, right? It's going to take him some time to kind of get back, hopefully, to that level.
Yeah.
So really our best option right now is Valverde in that right back position, which maybe actually for this period of time actually kind of helps a little bit, like putting Valverde on the right, because now we can kind of sort out midfield a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, against the Let's Go game, Valverde and Tchouaméni just didn't work. And I felt like after that game, a few people started to say a lot more now that, maybe that that double pivot isn't working at the current moment. Now with Bellingham coming back into the fold, having Arda Güler performing like he is, like Xavi, like really does have like a massive task on his hands, but I think he can really find that solution for these upcoming games. So like Stefan, how do you think it's going to go, let's say, against Getafe, Juventus, and El Clásico? How do we prepare for this game?
Thinking about what Xabi Alonso needs to do, the logic will be Valverde as right back. But I'm just not a fan of seeing Valverde in this position anymore. Clearly, we could use now. I think the World Cup is almost over for the youth teams, right? So some of the players could actually jump in. That would be my perfect solution, because he said he wants to use more of the youth players. And now Valverde needs to go back in the midfield. I don't think we should play there. He needs to play there, but I don't think in the long term it's a good option for Real Madrid. Asensio could do the job. It's Getafe. You know, we need to give like the confidence that Valverde needs in the midfield. So games like Getafe should be the right moment to put him back in midfield. This is my only opinion. He's not going to do it. He's going to put him as right back probably. And I saw Trent and Carvalho are already back in training. So maybe one of them will play against Juventus. I'm not saying the full game, but Juventus is a less risk than Barcelona, I would say.
Yeah, but you know, Fede's problem is that he plays very well. Fede hates playing right back, but he's really good. Like, I mean, you know, by the way, Tchouaméni doesn't like playing center back, but sometimes he does a really good job. So I think Fede is sort of cursed. His curse is that he's really good. So so I think, you know, coming back from international breaks, you know, historically Real Madrid don't perform well after international breaks. Like, if you look at sort of the defeats and sort of points lost in each season, so many of them come in the match immediately after the international break. So I think Xabi is going to be very aware of that. And I think Fede, you know, he doesn't like to play there. It's not his natural position, but he's really good and he defends very well. And I think he gives us a lot more guarantee, you know, than Asensio, or, you know. So I think he'll play Fede as right back. Fede, you know, there was a lot of, you know, hype in the media that Fede was complaining. He wasn't. You know, Fede's made it very clear that he'll play wherever they ask him to play. Yes. So I think that the poor guy is going to get stuck the next 2 or 3 matches, having to do the dirty work, you know.
Yeah. The thing is, like Fede Valverde, either right back or whether like right midfield, we've seen him having some really excellent games. And the thing is now, like with the whole midfield thing, the thing is we have the game against Getafe, but I feel like it's not a game like to try to make any changes. That's kind of like the game where, that game in Juventus, you want things to go your way. So you can't really be experimenting up until that Barcelona game. And even still, after the Barcelona game, you have Valencia and then you have Liverpool as well. So, for example, for Trent and Carvajal, like that's kind of not even a question. And then now with Valverde, I think now, for example, you would want to play Valverde there because just for him to get match fit in terms of playing that right back position. before we go to Juventus and mainly Barcelona, right? So you would think that maybe in this Getafe game, because we can't lose points, we can't lose points against Getafe and then go to Barcelona, right? So I think very few tactical changes, and also being careful with the players with fitness and everything to get us prepared for that game, right? And touching on another point as well is now Bellingham. So you touched on it before, that the game against Atletico Madrid, he came back too early. And I was thinking about it again today, and I really don't understand why. Because even if, of course, every player wants to play, that's a given, right? So once they're fit, training with the team, they want to play. That's a given. But I'm just trying to put myself in Bellingham's shoes in terms of, okay, Xavi doesn't choose you for that game against Atletico Madrid. You might be upset, but I would think the next day you're already like, okay, no, I understand. I literally just came back. I played like 2 games and this and that, right? But now, the game against Barcelona against Atletico Madrid, now that's the headache now.
Yeah, that's a big decision. It's a big decision. Really big decision. Yeah. Really big, because what I thought he would have done I thought he was going to give Jude 30 minutes at the Wanda against Atletico. I thought he would play the last 30 minutes and then maybe start the following match. But he did exactly the opposite, and I was really surprised. So, but yeah, it's going to be a big decision for Xavi. He's going to be sweating.
What do you do now then? What do you do now? Like, would Bellingham start against Getafe?
I think he will start against Getafe, and I've been a little bit surprised at how many minutes Ceballos has been getting. I'm not that surprised about Arda, because Arda, is very, very talented, and I think last year we were all really frustrated at the lack of minutes for Arda. I think this year, I'm not surprised about that, but I am a little bit surprised about how much Ceballos has been playing. But if Jude is fit, and it looks like he is fit, I would expect him to start.
So then now, do you now play him against Barcelona? Because now, okay, does that mean we're changing now tactics against Barcelona if Jude is playing? And I would assume that Arda Güler is definitely going to play against Barcelona, whether it's in an attacking midfield position or he moves him out to the wing.
I think so too. I think so too. But you have to balance all these things, and you have Arda and Mastantuono, and Arda has been playing very well as an interior player. He's a much better interior player than winger. So the time Ancelotti used to like to put Arda up front on the right, but I think it limits him a lot. And he's not a typical winger. He doesn't have that sort of explosive velocity, the speed that you need. So I think that Arda, should be playing an interior either as an 8 or a number 10. But with Jude coming back, you have to balance this. So they can certainly play together, but I think that each of these players is better when they play in the middle. So it's a bit of a pickle, because I think that Ancelotti used to put him on the left wing a lot. And I never really liked Jude playing on the left wing. He was much better when he played in the middle, and he would go up in that middle channel, and he would almost play like a false 9 and scored a ton of goals. So Jude is a much better player in the middle. Arda's a better player when he's in the interior. So I don't, Xavi, it's going to be very, very hard to manage this. I wouldn't want to have to make those decisions. It's going to be very tough. But I do think that both of those players should start.
So just want to say hello to Random Guy because he's also saying hello to you as well. He's been one of our regulars on the episode so far, so good to have you. So yeah, go ahead, Steph.
If you want to play it safe, then in that case, and you guys still want Valverde to play right back, and I believe changing the formation is not ideal right now. Maybe having 3 in midfield, which is Tchouaméni, Bellingham, and Arda Güler with Valverde as a right back, and keeping the front 3 might be the solution that for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
Does this mean like now Bellingham is now playing that double pivot? He's playing deeper now, right? Or he's still playing up front?
I wouldn't say double pivot. I would say still Tchouaméni in front of the defense, and Arda Güler and Jude Bellingham next to each other. One on the left, one on the right, but it'll still be in the middle because we still have the fingers on the line.
Yeah.
But
that's what.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he could definitely do that. But don't forget also that when he was at Leverkusen, one of the formation that he most played, he played it 23 times during that season, where they didn't lose a single Bundesliga match, and that the formation that he most played was three center backs. So it was kind of a 3-5. It was three center backs, and then you would have your left back and your right back very far forward, almost like midfielders, and then three center backs. And that's a very offensive formation. And he did that a lot with Leverkusen. And I think he wants to do it, but I think it just depends on which players are healthy. But I think it's the most aggressive formation that he can play, is when you have the left back and the right back really far up, almost like midfielders, and then you have the three center backs with a very high defensive line. And that was very effective with Leverkusen. He's done it a few times at Real Madrid as well, especially at the beginning. And I kind of would love to see that, because it's a very offensive, very aggressive sort of formation. But I think it'll depend on who's healthy in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think we saw that in the Club World Cup, right? Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Would you take Tchouaméni and put him as a centre back as well?
Well, and they did in the Club World Cup once or twice, and he could do it. I mean, I think now it would depend on Rudiger's condition, but if Rudiger is still injured, he may not want to do it simply because he doesn't think the pieces are there. Like now, if he did it now, he would have to use Tchouaméni as a center back. I don't know if maybe that'll make him doubt, or maybe wait until Rudiger is fully fit to try it. So I don't know what system he's gonna deploy, but it's a system that I really, really like, because he packs so many players up front, and it puts a lot of pressure on the other team in terms of pressing them high. So it's a really good system. I just don't know if he thinks he has the players to do it.
The thing is, in the Club World Cup, go ahead, Steph.
I doubt it, because with these formations, you're gonna have to remove either Valverde or eventually Jude Bellingham.
Or Mastantuono. You're gonna have to sacrifice one of them, and
Mastantuono is out for me.
Yeah.
Steph is not the biggest fan of Mastantuono,
but tell me what do you think? What do you think of him? He's a very peculiar player. I like watching him live because he's a very peculiar player. Like his style, the way he runs, the way he carries the ball, he's very quirky. But I like him because he's very aggressive, man. He's always trying to. He's very aggressive. He likes to take people on. He likes to push the ball forward. Mm-hmm. But what do you guys think of Mastantuono so far?
I think he's been brought into the starting 11 too quick. He brings a lot in the teams. His hunger. You can tell he would defend much more than any other three up front. But that's not especially what I want from a winger. I want him to take on players. I want him to be in decisive, giving assists, scoring goals. And I think it's too early for me to ask him this from an 18-year-old. So, yeah. But now he's playing week in, week out. So I have to.
For me,
he has to perform for me.
For me, I think he's been a joy, because I think he's helped to bring balance in that front line. So now Mastantuono, Mbappé, and Vini. Because we struggled quite a lot last season with balance in the upfront and midfield. But now, because of Mastantuono, he's actually brought in the type of profile that we just needed, right? And I get what Stefan is saying. We have this debate quite a bit, that he's still quite raw. So, yes, he's losing the ball quite a lot, right? His dribbling is not coming off, which is true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's offering us quite a lot defensively, which is helping the team massively. But then in terms of also up front, when he does do those dribbles, you can see the talent is there. And then he's just going to get a little bit more wiser to know that, okay, La Liga is just a little bit more difficult than where he was playing, right? So he can't beat like 5 players at once. So he would just get a little more smarter in those situations, so.
Totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, he's been, he does initiate some amazing plays, but then it's the last, with Mastantuono, it always feels like that last pass, the last shot, like, and it's a shame because some of those plays are spectacular. But yeah, you're right. I agree. There's a little bit of the decision making. That last decision is lacking, and he's losing balls just in the last minute. But if he gets a bit more comfortable, he's a very good player. And I totally agree what you said about him defending, contributing in defense, because this kid runs his ass off. Like when he loses a ball, I mean, he will chase it. He will chase it 40, 50 meters. I mean, he's very, very conscious of his defensive responsibilities. But yeah, you're right. He probably needs to calm down a little bit in the final third.
Yeah.
For me, I think he reminds me of Vinny. Vinny, when he first came to Real Madrid, he was very raw. He was always trying things. It wasn't working off. Like technique was not there, but you could see he was trying to improve, and that's exactly where I see with Massanto Ono. His best things are continually trying, and at the same point, he's improving game by game. So he's only going to get better.
Yeah. I find it's these conversations are interesting because I find that this year, guessing the starting lineup is as difficult as I remember. I mean, last year you would get it right every single week. This year, I don't think you would have guessed any one of them. Like, there's always one or two surprises with Xabi.
I love it.
I love it. I totally agree. And I love the fact that he's using every player, and I think that's, if you're Arda Güler or you're one of the young players, you're Huijsen or you're Mastantuono, this is what you want. You want a manager that believes in you, even, despite your age. So I think that he's injecting a lot of really good energy in these young players. And he's made it very competitive. I think playing minutes are going to be very expensive this year at Real Madrid. Last year, there was a little bit of entitlement. I think Rodrigo, there was this, maybe an underlying sense of entitlement. He started a lot of matches that he probably didn't deserve to start but Ancelotti just wouldn't. But Xabi is sending a very different message. If you're not consistent, he's not shy about sitting you down no matter what your name is, which I think is great. I think it's great.
Yeah, man.
Just tying in a little bit to just tying into the comments. Random guy. A little bit what we discussed before. Jude playing as attacking midfielder and how it hasn't really worked with the backup in terms of our two pivots. Last season. And then also the option of playing either, Jude as an 8 and then Arda Güler as a 10. So my thinking this season is really that our two best players, I think so far now with all the games, has been Mbappé and then Arda Güler.
Yeah.
And I think Arda Güler is so integral to this team right now for this season. And yes, we have these players that have to play. Bellingham has to play. Valverde has to play. All these players, big stars, have to play. But the two best players this season for me, Mbappe and Arda Güler. So if you take Arda Güler out of this team, we discussed that the creativity is a little bit less. And we saw that against Atletico Madrid in terms of when he was put on the wing, we were lacking that creativity, right? So we've had Bellingham as an attacking midfielder. And so far, we haven't seen it, I guess, with Alonso this season. But Arda Güler, he has to play, and you have to kind of play him behind Mbappe, So now, what is this? The midfield is such an issue this season,
Yeah, but he's combining.
To have.
I mean, with Kylian, he's combining so well with Kylian. I mean, Arda's passing to Kylian has been wonderful this season. I mean, those two players are really, there's very, very good chemistry there. And Arda's just such a great passer, so he sees those runs. No, it's very, very exciting. I'm very happy for Arda, and you can see the confidence. If you watch him play with Turkey these last couple of matches, he's playing with so much confidence, the confidence of a leader. I think he last year, I think that he was starting to doubt himself a little bit because he wasn't getting the minutes. But I think this year, his confidence level is through the roof, and he's playing really, really well. I agree. He's just an integral part of this team. And Kylian is just playing at a stratospheric level. I mean, this is probably the best Kylian. We've been following him his entire career. This is as good a Kylian as I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm still.
No, you're not. You're not convinced.
Stefan is always a little bit more harsh on French players, you know.
Yeah, I'm French, so we know when Kylian was at his best. I think that he's back to that level. That's not his best version still. He's doing amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing in terms of what he brings to the team. He's doing amazing. Now, is it the best version of Kylian? I don't think so. At PSG, he was incredible before he signed the contract.
Yeah.
Before he signed the contract. I have an issue with him because he's still learning the number 9 position. He doesn't especially do the right thing sometimes for the team in terms of position.
Yeah.
Much on the left side, not holding the position as a number 9 to give space for other players. So he's learning from it. But on the other side, the guy is clinical. So
and he's so fast. Il est tellement vite, c'est incroyable. Ou pas? Ou pas, c'est vrai. He's so quick. When you watch it. By the way, both of you guys, you need to come to Madrid. I'll take you to the Bernabeu. Promise, if you guys come over. And when you watch him live, the speed. Yeah. Seriously, my word is my bond. But when you watch him live, he's so quick. He has, when he receives the ball with his back to goal, the way that he spins either left or right to get away from the defender, it's extraordinary. His speed is unbelievable, and his finishing now is lethal. His finishing is so good now. I mean, right now, I can't think. I think he's the best player in the world at the moment. I can't think of a I mean, I don't know. Who would you take over Kylian?
He is alongside Harry Kane and
Haaland with goals. Yeah, with the goals. Yeah. Like, I think so we touched on this a little bit on the last episode because for me, when it comes to Mbappe this season, I think he's been absolutely fantastic. Last season for me, I think he offered us goals, but I feel like there was still something a little bit lacking in terms of like his link-up play with other players. But I think that's really improved this season. And I do feel like he has actually become now the main man. And that's given even more confidence. And we're seeing that in how he's playing. I feel like also as well that he's almost has like a point to prove. Because last season, a lot of people said stuff about him, PSG winning the Champions League without Mbappe. Dembele, the way he was playing, Lamel over at Barcelona. So people kind of forgot about Mbappe a little bit. And I felt like from the first game this season, like he was okay. I will show you who the best player is. And we are really seeing like the best version of Mbappe at Madrid right now. And I think for me, one thing I've spotted is that with Vinny and Mbappe at the moment, it's not clicking, and it's not necessarily like them getting in each other's way or anything, but just in terms of like those 1-2 passes, like that link up play, that's that different kind of sense. I know where you are, and it's not there, right? Fine, that can develop over time, hopefully. Yeah. But I think what we saw, for example, in many games, but I'll highlight the Atletico Madrid game. We had no one in the box at some stage. In the second half, there was no one. There's no Mbappe. There's no Vinny. There's nobody.
Yeah,
and I'm like, guys,
it's funny what you say is true because especially with Kylian with Vinny, sometimes it feels like they're just being too polite to each other, and it really pisses me off. It's like, no, you take it. No, you can have it. No, you can have it. It's like it needs to be more automatic, and it needs to be more instinctive and quick and reflexive. But I agree with you. It doesn't happen, for example, when Kylian's combining with Mastantuono or with Arda. It all feels very natural. With Vini, it doesn't feel natural. It feels like, no, you make the run. No, okay, I'll go inside. You can go to the left. It just seems like they're not understanding each other. In a kind of instinctive way. I totally agree. But if they can fix it, because they're both great players. What's your take on Vini this year? That's kind of that's the elephant in the room, right?
I will start off by telling you, I'm one of Vinny's biggest fans. Back when Stefan didn't believe in him, I was like, Vinny's gonna be the guy. Vinny's gonna be the guy. But I think after the Atletico Madrid game and then also the game against Kairat, for me, I had, because obviously I want the best for him and I want to perform, and I'm gonna back him because I want him to do good for Madrid. But I was like, it's been a very, very long time of like just really poor performance, decision making, passing accuracy, shot accuracy. A lot of our attacks are breaking down because of his just bad decision making. So it gets to a point I was like, okay, like we need to progress, but we're passing Vini the ball and we're not going anywhere, right? So I think after that game against Atletico and Kairat, I was like, you know what? I'm actually ready for Rodrigo to step in and just get more game time, because one of the best players in the world is not performing. So if you're not performing, you have to be taken out. And tying into another thing as well, like I think in the long run, you would want it to work like this, these players that we have now. But I think really in terms of balance in the long run, if we think about Mbappe in the season he's having now, let's say he gets 50 goals, 60 goals, whatever this season, right?
Yeah.
And do you not think as well that you could actually even get more out of Mbappe if he has an actual striker to play along with him, to complement him a little bit more? So could you not actually get the most out of Mbappe if he's now actually pushed onto that left side, and that he doesn't necessarily have to worry too much about running into the box? He can still run into it, but that's not his primary thing, right? Because once again, he wants to drop deep. He wants to collect the ball from a deep position, get the ball and run, right? So it's one of those things, because now, like, you see strikers out there who could complement Mbappe to get more out of him.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, because, I think Rodrigo, I have the impression that the big decision for Xabi during the course of the year will be to play Vini or Rodrigo on the left. I'm not so sure he's going to be using Rodrigo on the right. I don't know why I have that feeling, and I could be completely wrong, but I have a feeling that he's going to stick to Mastantuono and maybe even Arda sometimes on the right, and sort of leave Rodrigo and Vini to compete for the starting position on the left. I think, I'm not sure, but I think that's the case, because Vini hasn't been very consistent. And sometimes Rodrigo has come on. Rodrigo has always been a player that he's always been more impactful coming off the bench. He's a wonderful player, and he's started and had some amazing performances. So he can start, and he's a world-class player. But I think coming off the bench, he's historically, I think he's had a very, very big impact. So Xabi is going to have to, I think, just sort of decide on the left, Vini or Rodrigo. And the idea of playing Rodrigo on the right, I don't think he's going to entertain it as much as Ancelotti used to.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, so
Brazil during international. So Vini was playing actually as a striker, and Rodrigo on the first game was a little bit deeper, sometimes on the left, but a little bit deeper. And if Xabi Alonso wants to play two strikers and with Rodrigo behind them, that could be an option. I'm not saying every games, but that's an option that he should also try to fit them, the three together, instead of Rodrigo on the right. Or again, like I said, many times we need to try this: Mbappe on the right, Vini in center, and Rodrigo on the left side. We've never tried this, and I'm pretty sure this could work as well.
Yeah, that would be definitely very different to put Kylian on the right. I'm sure Kylian could do it. The only thing is that at the moment, in the state that Kylian is in right now, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, right now, Kylian, you just leave him, which is playing as a number 9, but drifting either to the left or to the right. He has a lot of freedom on the pitch. But I think he's finally comfortable in the 9 role, and I think it would be a bit risky. I think it's a possibility, but I think it would be kind of risky. because right now I think Kylian, it'd be hard to play any better as a number 9 right now.
I agree. He's comfortable, and there's no need for a change. But I would love to see it at some point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure he could do it. I mean, he's a wonderful player. I mean, at the end of the day, speed is speed, and that's what Kylian brings that, and he can bring that on either side of the pitch.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. Yeah, but I look. I think we have if you zoom out again, the pressure in Madrid is so intense that everybody is just hysterical about every little thing all the time. Like if you listen to the YouTubers here in Madrid, when we lose a game, I mean, you think it's the end of the world. There is so much pressure, but I think that if we zoom out, this is an amazing squad. We have unbelievable players. They're all incredibly young. They're all incredibly good. And when they play with intensity, when they really play with, when they play at 100%, it's a really, really good team. We create an enormous amount of chances. I think actually we should have scored many more goals than we have, but we've created a lot of chances. So I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm optimistic. The Atletico defeat was brutal, but I think, these things happen. Even in some of our most successful seasons, we've had 1 or 2 matches where the wheels came off. It happens. These guys are kids. They're human beings. It can happen. So I'm not as negative or pessimistic as some of the people that I listen to here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm totally with you.
So leading into that.
What's that?
Yeah, go for stuff.
Well, no, I was saying.
No, I was just.
Oh, must be some delay there. No, again, I'm with you, Miguel. We have an amazing squad, and the manager's just arrived. We need to give him time, and with the amount of time that he had already, we've seen some of the changes, and good changes as well for the squad, for the team, and it can only be good for the future, because when he's gonna have his starting 11, we can tell like he has ideas. While when Ancelotti was there, as much as we love him, he relied mostly on experienced players, and as soon as he lost them through injuries or people that left, he was running out of ideas. And right now we have managers that have ideas, and then trying different shapes, different players in different position, and it's working.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
do you? Yeah, I'm the same. So now leading into like El Clásico, or the actual game against Barcelona, do you think Alonso will go for the win against Barcelona, and should he go for the win?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he definitely will. And what I think, what's kind of interesting is that it's setting up really, really interestingly. I don't. If you guys, did you watch the Barça Sevilla match or Barça PSG? If you notice,
I just saw the highlights. Yeah.
Well, if you notice the way that Barça is playing, so they're playing with a very, very high defensive line, which is very effective. If you hold the line, it can be very effective because it helps you to press the opponent and recover the ball more quickly when you lose possession. But it's very, very dangerous because if you just get one ball behind the defensive line, their center backs are literally at the halfway line or even further up. If you get one ball behind them, it's wide open. So I think that the Clásico is setting up really, really interestingly, because Barça is going to come to the Bernabeu and they love possession. They love long possessions, a lot of short passes, horizontal passes. I call it windshield wiper football. They do a lot of this. And they want to play possession with a very high defensive line. But when we steal the ball, we have so much speed on the wings, and they have such a high defensive line that it only takes one good ball. You recover one ball in the right spot and make one good pass behind that defensive line into a run, and there's going to be a lot of real estate for Kylian and for Vini. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game. Barca's going to want possession, and we're gonna settle back probably. But when we steal the ball, I think we have the tools to do a lot of damage. I really do. And if you look at the Sevilla match, Barca It was 4-1. That match should have been 10-1. That should have been 10. It was in the first half. It was like it was, and the PSG that match, PSG could have scored many more goals because they're missing Inigo Martinez, like they're missing that center. I don't know. They're not as solid defensively as they were last year, and they play such a risky style of play. So they're going to have possession. They're going to move the whole block up, and they're going to leave a really high defensive line. And if we steal one or two balls, a quick outlet ball, I think we can do a lot of damage. So I'm really excited about the Clásico this year. I think it's going to be interesting.
Against Sevilla was actually even more shocking because against PSG, let's say it was a 50-50 match, but against Sevilla was on top most of the game. And one thing with Hansi Flick, and now everybody realized that he cannot adapt during the game. He cannot change his tactic. Yeah. And we have to explore all those options, all the gaps that they have at the back, especially. We need to kill them initially.
Yeah, no, if you press, I think what we've seen this is that if you press Barça very aggressively, if you're willing to make the physical commitment, if all the players make the commitment to chase the ball and to press, Barça, they crumble. If you press them really aggressively, they struggle. That's the one sort of soft spot, and we have to exploit that. So just recover the ball and try to get a deep ball quickly. I think potentially we can do a lot I I'm really looking forward to it.
I think this season we've seen like Madrid now improving their counter-pressing ability, and a lot of our goals are coming from counter-pressing. So it's actually going to be quite key. And I think as well, this is where the link-up play between Mbappé and Güler is also going to be like lethal, because we saw it against Atletico Madrid, quite killer for that first goal that came out of like nowhere. And then now with Barcelona, keeping this high line and the space being back there, I think Güler can find that pass for Kylian Mbappé. So I think it's a game that's Madrid can win. And I think they need to go for the win. And it will also be quite good because, we know what happened last season. And also the game against PSG this season against Atletico Madrid. So there is just like a little bit of an air of like, we just do need to beat a top level team, and beating Barcelona, I think, would be actually a statement for La Liga, right? Because there's still that kind of like hesitation. But I think if we go into that game and win that game, we're now 5 points ahead of Barcelona. It's really in Madrid's hands, as it already is kind of now. But it will just give you a little bit more assurance that when it does come down to it, we can beat a big team, right? And we're also going to see that as well against, let's say Juventus, but they've also drawn like 5 matches, Juventus now in a row. But the game against Liverpool is also going to be interesting, but Liverpool are also not going through the best of times, and we do tend to beat Liverpool. So that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, we do.
But I think this really is like these 6 matches,
but Anfield's going to be tough, though. I mean, Anfield is a very tough place, and we have a good track record against Liverpool, but I think this year Anfield will be tricky. It's a incredibly loud. I mean, it's one of those stadiums that's very, very difficult to play in. But I don't know. I mean, I'm confident. I think we have so much skill. We have so much speed. I think, I don't know if you notice, even the center backs, even the center backs, when they recover a ball, I think Xabi has told them to lift their head and to look for a run. So even the center back, it doesn't have to be one of the pivots. Even if a center back recovers the ball, they're lifting their head and they're immediately looking for that deep run, which is great because it catches teams off guard. And we have the speed on the wings to do it. And Huijsen, especially Huijsen always, lifts his head and is always trying to make like a low, deep diagonal ball, into a run. So I don't know. We have the tools to do a lot of damage. But Liverpool, I think, is going to be the toughest of the upcoming matches, I think, by far. I think the Clásico, the way it's setting up, could play into our hands, I think. Getafe will be tricky because Getafe is a scrappy team. They're one of those scrappy teams that, whenever Real Madrid comes to town, everybody plays like it's the most important match live. So, they're one of those teams that play with incredible intensity, and they're very physical and scrappy. So it's not going to be easy. But I think we should be able to win in Getafe. I think we can win the Clásico. I think Liverpool might be trickier. I'm a little bit more worried about that, because Liverpool's going to really want it, and Anfield's a tricky place. So I don't know. I think we're going to do fine. The Liverpool match is the one that worries me the most,
especially with their midfielders. Gravenberch, he's the one right now that's running the show in the midfield, and I don't think we have a midfielder in the same intensity as he has. That's the problem I have. But overall, I'm confident with Liverpool.
But the thing is, with Liverpool, the other thing is with Liverpool, they have been changing their midfield quite a lot this season. And not finding that balance between Wirtz, so not hitting it off quite well, not linking up yet with the team. So a lot of changes there. Szoboszlai having now to play right back position, right midfield or midfield position. There is a lot of changes in midfield for Liverpool. And then on top of that, now you have Isak still not really match fit. So I do think that Liverpool are still not clicking yet. So I don't think there's going to be as ferocious as they were last season, right? Last season, they knew exactly what they were doing. The players were there. They knew what they were doing. But this season, they have been winning their games in the Premier League, but it hasn't been convincing. So and also as well, the game they have against Manchester United tomorrow is also going to be a tough one. So if they lose that game, is it 4 defeats in a row, or is it the 3rd defeat in a row? So things are not so well for Liverpool. They lost against Crystal Palace, and they lost against Chelsea. I'll come back to me. But was it Chelsea? Exactly. Last game, Chelsea. So it's not the Liverpool of last season, not yet. But it's this thing of like you bring in these big stars, and it just does take time, right? You bring Madrid, you bring in new manager, new ideas. It takes time. So I think that's what we're seeing with Liverpool as well.
Yeah, it's true. They're probably not in as good a shape as they were last year. But I just think that, the rivalry with Real Madrid over the years, I mean, they just think about it, how much they must hate us, because I mean, 2 champions. I mean, they just you have to understand where they're coming from. I mean, 2 Champions League finals we've taken from them,
big time,
in the most heartbreaking way. And then of course there was the 2-5. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, and Liverpool was up 2-0, and then we scored 5. I mean, they may not be playing as well, but they always want to beat us really bad.
Well, they haven't gotten the revenge yet.
Not yet. No, not yet. Not yet.
And it's never coming. It's never coming.
Yeah.
Every year where I work, I've got people telling fans of Liverpool, I say, this is our time, this is our year, we're going to beat you. But every year it's the same thing.
Yeah, I always tell this anecdote that I haven't, I'm 57, right? I have not seen Real Madrid lose a European Cup final since I was 13 years old, since 1981. And so 9, since then we've been in 9 finals and we won all 9. And I explain it to my sort of American friends. You don't understand the magnitude of this club. This club is the most extraordinary entity in the world. I mean, there is nothing in the world of sports like Real Madrid. What this club has done is amazing. So my greatest fear in life is having to watch us lose a final, and I don't know what that feels like. Well, I was 13 years old, and I'm scared to death, man. I'm scared every time there's a final. I'm just so scared. So I'd rather lose at semis. I'd rather lose in the semifinals. I'd rather lose at the group stage. Just don't lose a final. Don't lose a final.
So what was your first memories as a Real Madrid fan?
Well, I used to, I spent half my childhood in Spain, and my uncles would take me to the Bernabeu when I was 5, 6 years old. So I've been going to the Bernabeu my whole life. And when I was a kid, we'd have to get tickets, and we didn't own our own seats at the time, so we had to so I saw matches in different parts of the stadium, and I wasn't able to get so now we have 4, and I got those about 22 years ago. So for the last 22 years, I've been able to go to my seats, but I've been going to the Bernabeu since. And it's funny because my uncle, the uncle that is still alive, is now 82 years old, and he comes to Madrid every single match. He stays in my house. He comes with me to every single match. So it's kind of sweet that he's one of the persons that introduced me to Real Madrid when I was a kid, and now I get to take him. So it's kind of poetic, But yeah, no, Real Madrid's been a part of my life, literally my entire life. So yeah, it's my love, my passion, absolutely. But I just cannot. The idea of losing a final, you guys, I don't know. I don't know what could be. I might go live on an island somewhere, just away from the world. I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah, I understand you. I've been following Real Madrid constantly since 99, I think. Was it 99 when Anelka signed? Yeah, I think so.
I remember that against Bayern Munich. Yeah.
Yeah, 99 when he signed. I think that's when I constantly started watching Real Madrid. And I'm French, so I've been happy 80% of my life. I always win.
Well, I can tell you, I'm often asked who my favorite players of all time are, and it's very personal, because there's no objective metric, right, to say who the best. But my favorite player of all time was Zizou. And I was here in Madrid when Zidane was playing here with Raúl and Figo and Roberto Carlos, and that Zizou for me is the most technically exquisite player I've ever seen. It was just magic. The way this guy controlled the ball, it was like the ball was on a string. His relationship with the ball was just so different from anything I've ever seen. It was just, if you ask artificial intelligence to sort of create the perfect player, it would look a lot like Zizou, a lot. Spinning left, spinning right, both feet. He was perfect with both feet, good in the air, incredible in transition. He can shoot from distance. He can dribble through. Some of his best dribbles were without even moving, without it touching the ball, just moving his hip, and players would just break. He was spectacular. I love France, and especially because they gave us Zizou.
It's funny that you're saying that, because I've seen him playing live once only, and that was his worst game ever. So it was France against Republic Czech, and I think he was the one that gave away the ball for them to score, and we lost 1-0. But he's our legend, he's almost
elegance personified. Just the most elegant player, just the most technically, perfect player I've seen. Just extraordinary. Yeah, Zizou was my favorite by far.
So who in the current squad is your favorite player?
Well, I have to say probably Jude. Look, obviously Kylian right now is the most impactful player, but there's a lot about Jude that I really appreciate. Jude also has a few moves that remind me a lot of Zizou. When he is in possession, he protects the ball so well. He has the physicality, but also the technique with the ball at his feet, with both feet. So he had that, Zizou had that sort of 360 spin kind of quality about him. Jude has that as well. He has this beautiful symmetry in his turns. He can shoot from distance. He scores when he's in the box. He has great vision. I think Jude is one of the most complete box-to-box players I've seen. And I want him back at full fitness, because what he contributes to the team is fantastic. He's a player that you can put in any position. He also gives 110%. He's a very generous player. He gives everything. Every time he plays, he runs after every ball. He chases everything down. He's constantly going to ground, constantly getting up. He's pressing all the time. He's a very generous player with his physical effort. and I think technically he's wonderful. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of. I'd say probably Jude right now. Yeah.
I would say Jude would be probably one of the rare one in this current squad that could play during Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, etc. Probably in the place of Isco when they were playing two up front, and then Isco was just behind them. Probably he will be a starter in that position. But most of the squad, and I include Mbappe, would probably not be starter. Mbappe will be a starter maybe on the right side instead of Bale, but Bale was incredible at that time. So I don't even think he would, and he was young at that time, so he would still be on the bench. He wouldn't be in the position of Benzema, which I believe was the perfect striker.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, Courtois would play, but Jude, I think, would be in the starting 11 at that time. It could have been.
Yeah. No, he's a really special, very special player. Yeah, Juni Carafat, the head of scouting for Real Madrid, is very, very good at what he does. He's very, very good. I mean, he finds, Casemiro and Fede Valverde and Rodrigo and Vini. I mean, Juni Carafat is a very, very good scout. He's got a very good eye. And when Jude was playing in Borussia Dortmund, we knew he was good. I mean, you could see he was a good player, but I don't think that any of us saw what Juni Carafat saw, which, is that extra dimension. I mean, I always thought Jude was a good player, but I didn't know he was this good. He's a lot better than I thought. So we have to give credit to Real Madrid scouting, Juni Carafat and his team, because they've brought some incredible players to Madrid. They're very good at what they do.
Welcome back, Sully.
Yeah, sorry guys. Like my Wi-Fi just went off, so now I'm on my phone, my personal hotspot. So hopefully that goes okay. But yeah, catch me up. What did I miss?
We were talking about current best player in the squad for Miguel, and he said Jude.
Yeah, my favorite player.
Okay. And yourself?
If I had to choose one, I think his physical qualities, his technical ability. He's a very complete player. He's a box-to-box player, and he combines technique with physicality, which is not always easy to find. He's very physical. He protects the ball very well. He's very aggressive. He presses very aggressively. He's very physical, but he's very technical. He's exquisite with the ball at his feet. So he's a joy to watch. And I was, also saying that he works very hard. He's an incredibly hardworking player. So and I'm a big fan of Jude. I can't wait till he's sort of back to 100%.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
And
Who's your favorite, Sally?
Me? So we have Vinny Jr. For me, it's been Vinny and Valverde. So I just love like hardworking football players, and for me, they're number one. So I think the technique, because you have players, let's say like Rodrigo, right? We can say technically gifted with the ball. Vinny didn't have that, but after like training, he got that. He got that, right? Similar with Ronaldo, comparison to Messi. Messi technically gifted with the ball. Ronaldo had to train and build those qualities, right? So I like those hardworking football players who don't necessarily have that football touch, but they still find a way to still perform and get a high level. So Vinny and Valverde. That's why I'm a little bit kind of like, well, Vinny, what's happening? Where's that, like, that doggedness? It's not there anymore, Well,
I think that he's a very emotional player. He's a very sensitive player. I think that things get in his head, things affect him. He's very emotionally involved in the game, and I think sometimes he loses concentration because he takes a lot of things very personally. I think it's a matter of concentration. The skill is there. He still has the explosive speed. He still has the beautiful dribbling. But it's just, I think, a matter of he's less consistent. I find he still takes people on one-on-one, but I think he does it less often, and it's not as effective as So he's losing the ball more often, I think, than he used to. But it's the same player and the skill is there. I just think it's mental. I think ever since he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, which by the way, if you watch the video on my channel, I told the head of France Football, I basically told him to F off in French. I basically told him that he's an asshole in his own language. So but I think it really affected it affected Vini a lot, and I think it got in his head, and I think he was just very demoralized, and I think it's affected him. So he needs to get over it. He needs to get over it.
Do you know, concerning this Ballon d'Or, if it was Vini, that would be good. I still believe it shouldn't be Vini. It should have been a different player from Real Madrid. And I think Carvalho was in a better position. And if Jude Bellingham would have a better final in the Euro, it should have been him.
Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, and I even if I weren't a Real Madrid supporter, I would say that if Vini didn't win it, it should have been Carvajal. And if it wasn't Carvajal, it should have been Jude. And if it wasn't Jude, it should have been Kroos.
Well, yes.
But there is no way that Rodri was the best player in the world. There's no way that Rodri was the best player in the world. Okay,
he was the best player in his team in City. That was Foden. And he wasn't the best player with Spain. I think Como was better than him. Fabian Ruiz was better than him. Even Nico Williams was better than him.
Absolutely. The Ballon d'Or, unfortunately, has lost a lot of the credibility that when I was growing up, it actually meant something, and it actually made sense. So the players that would win it, people would generally agree that they deserved it. Even Cannavaro and people like that, or Shevchenko, like it made sense. But during the Messi era, things started to get a little bit questionable, because the year that Lewandowski should have won it, they gave it to Messi, and they should have given it to Lewandowski. And then the year that Haaland shows up at Man City, he wins the treble, and he breaks every scoring record in the most physical league in the world, and they gave it to Messi. Because he won the World Cup. Okay, but the rest of his season was horrendous. So I mean, I don't know. I think the Ballon d'Or has lost a lot of credibility in my mind. And the year of Rodri, that was the year that I kissed it goodbye, because that was very, very clearly, it's 100 journalists from around the world, and it doesn't take a lot to get a journalist, these are not people that have a real reputation on the line. Like if it were players or team captains or managers of nations or clubs, but it's not. It's a bunch of journalists. Nobody knows who the hell these people are. And I think they're very easy to persuade. And I think there's a lot of really shady shit that goes on behind closed doors. And if you suspected before, after the Vini thing, there's no doubt that it's not a pure meritocracy. Definitely.
To me, it comes a little bit earlier than that. I think Schneider or Iniesta should have won the Ballon d'Or in 2010. From that moment, I was, even when Ribéry didn't win, okay, we could argue, but Ronaldo was way better individually, but Ribéry could still have it at that time. But throughout all these years, something was off. Something was definitely off.
and it's a shame, because now, they changed the voting system. Now before you could only vote for 5. Now you can vote for 10. Now it's 100 journalists. It used to be 150, I think. So they changed the format, and now it's not France Football. It's also L'Équipe and UEFA. So now the Ballon d'Or is managed by UEFA and France Football and L'Équipe. So now there's a lot of bodies behind the scenes, and it just doesn't feel honest to me.
Yeah, I totally understand.
But yeah, I think. But to get back to the point, I think it affected Vini a lot. I think.
Go on, Sully.
Yeah. So for me, I'm hoping that if Vinny wants to stay, Madrid want him to stay. So now sign the contract, and then now just get everything, all the background noise out of it, and just focus on football now.
Yeah, but Vinny did something that I don't think the club liked very much, which is that he wanted a renewal bonus. So, now if you want a player, you have to pay the transfer fee. If the player is a free agent, you can give him a signing bonus. But once the player is already playing for your club and he's renewing a contract, why would you give him a bonus? That doesn't make, why do you get a bonus? So Vini's sort of negotiating team was asking for a signing bonus. And Florentino doesn't take this stuff very well.
Yeah, I mean,
and he shouldn't. Like we've seen what happens when you give all this power to the players, right? At Barcelona and other teams, like the club is the most important thing, and you keep the integrity of the club, right? So no player is bigger than Real Madrid, and now it's been dragging on so much now. So for me, you would want Vinny now. Okay, are you gonna stay? You're gonna stay. Sign the contract. You're not going to get the same money as Mbappe. You're not going to get this extension fee. So just buckle down and now get back to being the best player in the world, right? Because all this stuff is like distraction, from what's really important.
From your lips to God's ears.
But does he want to be taken in the same position as the big players in the game? I'm not saying in comparison to Mbappe, but comparison to the big players in the game. So, for example, I'm pretty sure he must be earning similar salaries than Casemiro, because Casemiro earns a lot in United.
Yeah.
Right? Probably as much as, maybe he must be earning less than Salah. Maybe he must be earning less than...
I think Vinny is already on quite a good contract, because I was looking at it on Capology, and I think it's Mbappe, number 1, 600,000. Vinny, around like 500,000 or something.
Alaba is higher than him.
No, I can double check.
I think Alaba is higher
because I thought it was already Vinny up there.
Alaba has a very bizarrely high salary. I can't remember what it is, but you're right that it's very, very high. But salaries in the Premier League, in general, the Premier League salaries tend to be higher. But Real Madrid is very lucky that we get players for less money because they want to come. And we're very lucky, and in the last years, we've been able to bring players when other clubs were offering more money. But the players want to come, and it's a very big advantage that we have, because we would not be able to pay sort of Premier League. The salaries tend to be much higher, but players want to come to Madrid, and it's a real blessing. It's one of the advantages that we have, just because of the pedigree and the brand, and to play in Real Madrid is the highest honor that anybody can bestow on a football player.
So I think in his mind, he wants to be in the same category as all the big players.
Yeah,
there's probably that more than. But the bonus, the fee,
which you can understand.
Yeah.
The thing is with him wanting to be on par with the rest of the top players, you can understand why he's thinking like that, in terms of what he has offered Madrid in the, let's say, not last season but the previous 3 seasons, and then being able to almost winning the Ballon d'Or, not doing it. So he has been performing for Madrid and helping us to win Champions Leagues, right? So you can kind of understand why. Okay, why is Mbappe getting more than me? Why is Erling Haaland getting more than me? But as we all know, it's not just about what you do on the football pitch, but it's actually the money that the club can generate from you, right? So Mbappe is just a bigger name, right? So that also comes into the equation as well.
Yeah, it's just a fact. It's just a fact.
Yeah, because Real Madrid, Real Madrid gives the player typically 50% of their image rights. Which is something that Florentino Perez, he invented this model. So when he brought David Beckham over during the Galacticos, he was the person that sort of said, listen, you have 100% of your image rights in Manchester, and that produces this amount of money. If you come to Madrid with only 50% of your image rights, you're going to make more money than over there with 100% of your image rights. So Florentino Perez would use the image rights of the player to finance the transfer. So it's a very clever thing that Florentino Perez sort of was the pioneer, and now of course everybody does it. But yeah, Vini makes a lot of money on his image rights as well. So yeah, he shouldn't complain much.
Whatever the club says, I'm
so I'm the same. I agree with Florentino. He can do whatever he wants.
These guys got like.
I mean, it's proven that the last he has the mind.
Yeah, he's a tough. Florentino Perez is a tough guy. You don't want to mess with him. I mean, Sergio Ramos went into his office and wanted an improvement on his contract, and Florentino Perez, kicked him out the window. Cristiano walked into his office and wanted more money, and Florentino kicked him out the window. Like he doesn't take any crap, which is I think the only way to do it. Yeah.
And the thing is that's honestly in the long run how you need to run the football team, because it's very tempting to the players are playing a good football. They're playing amazing for the team, and you want to keep that player, right? And you want to give him the salary because you think, okay, we need him right now. But in the long run, we've seen in so many different teams that they keep players for too long. They give him a big contract when maybe they should actually let him go and then try and find the next up-and-coming football player, right? So I think that's really something that's we've been able to see with Madrid these last few years, being able to maintain, and that's why we've been so consistent, and that's how they're being able to actually go up against your Man Cities, your PSGs with the state money, right? So it's really about how well this football team is run, and then also understanding that yes, players come and go, but this is still Madrid, and we will find other stars to fill in if you don't want to do it. So.
Yeah, it's what Florentino Perez did to the club, because the club in the 80s with the earlier presidents, Ramon Mendoza and people like that, there was a lot of it still felt kind of shady. There was kind of shady stuff going on. But what Florentino Perez did is he really professionalized the club at every level. So as a socio, I can tell you, the socio member services, they have a beautiful office. You call, they attend, like everything is really high tech. Everything is really well organized. It's just very, very professional. So Florentino Perez expects his players to be professional. So if you sign a contract with me and you start playing like shit, I'm not allowed to pay you less. So if you start playing really, really well, don't come to me and ask for more money, because I'm not going to give it to you. This is attitude, and it's true. I mean, you have to respect a contract, right?
Like for me, I was still quite young at the time, but when the whole Cristiano Ronaldo thing was happening, I was like, just give him what he wants. Give him what he wants. But when you're young and you just want to see the best players at your team, and you don't think too much of like the business side and the finances or whatever. You just want to see Cristiano Ronaldo wearing the white t-shirt. But we obviously saw that Madrid were able to bounce back and transition into the stage you're in now. So it really is about the long run. And I think that's something that Madrid now, since the whole Cristiano Ronaldo era, have been doing quite well. We're finding these stars, your Endricks, your Massanto Olmos, your Arda Güler, and we're molding them ourselves, right? And then now we go out there and then we spend money on people you can almost, let's say, guarantee that they're gonna be a success, like Jude Bellingham, because you are seeing other clubs who are spending money like that, but then they're not getting necessarily that player, right? So Madrid spend money, but when they do their calculations, okay, definitely gonna be a success, let's put that money in there. So the way Madrid is being run is honestly just let's keep it going.
Yeah, very, very professional team. Yeah, when you were temporarily disconnected, we were talking about Juni Carafat, the head of scouting, and he's been so good, man. He's brought players. I think he paid $5 million for Casemiro, We brought Fede for nothing, like Fede Valverde, like, you know, Rodrigo, Vini, like he has, and Jude turned out to be so much better than, you know, he's a very good scout. He's a very good scout.
Yeah.
So no, it's a very professional team. It's a very well managed club.
So, in terms of the Getafe game, you guys do have a starting 11 in mind?
With Xabi, it's really difficult. I mean, we can try. All right, let's try. Okay, Courtois, Carreras on the left. You're gonna obviously have Fede on the right. I don't think he'll do Asensio. I think he'll put Fede on the right, which is going to leave. Well, I don't think Rudiger's ready. So Huijsen
He's out for like two months. I think he's got 2 months. Yeah, Huijsen is injured as well.
Oh, but he's also
he's not available for the.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's Huijsen's. That's right. So you're looking at Asensio, and then what do you do with the other spot? Do you roll the dice with Joan Martinez or something like that, or do you put Tchouaméni there?
Is Militao out?
Militao
resting from internationals.
He played 90 minutes.
But Mili is available. Okay, so Mili, Asensio. Then what do you in the middle of the pitch? What do? You do Arda. Jude.
So I think the last game against Villarreal was interesting because he played, Ceballos, Tchouaméni, and Arda.
Yeah.
And I think it didn't really work with Ceballos there, even though he hasn't been doing a job when he was needed. So I think now probably you are going to see, either Bellingham or Camavinga in midfield is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Arda, maybe Camavinga, Jude. That's a possibility, and then you could do Mastantuono, Vini, Kylian up front. I mean, that's a possible.
So you have Mastantuono, who came back earlier from injury that he picked. I think he still trained yesterday, so he can.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, Mastantuono's okay. They were worried. It looked like he was injured, but I think he's okay.
Yeah, and you have like few players that stayed in. They didn't go to international. So Tchouaméni, Valverde, and Jude stayed in, while Arda, Camavinga, and others went. And taking into consideration this, I'm pretty sure Tchouaméni is going to start.
Yeah.
Which is because maybe you would actually want to possibly give Arda a rest and then have him ready for Juve and Barcelona. And I do think maybe it is time now also to integrate Jude or Camavinga in that midfield, right? Because I think the question is going to be, what is our midfield going to look like? So I think at the beginning we said Tchouaméni, Güler, and Bellingham, but I think also Camavinga is also in that fray as well, because what I've seen from actually Camavinga and Jude, they're both pissed. They want to play.
Yeah. I totally agree. And Camavinga needs more minutes. Camavinga hasn't played in all. He needs more minutes as well. So those guys are ready to go.
Another thing I just actually wanted to mention was he's not going to play, but I don't know why, but it feels nice having Mendy back. And this is the first time, because he was training with the group now, first session this week, I believe. And this is the first time Mendy is actually coming back from an injury and he's not being like rushed in. He's not having to play a game. We can slowly get him match fit and hopefully competing, right, for whether it's left back position or helping out in center back, who knows? But I was like, actually, because I'd completely forgotten about Mendy. Last season wasn't his best season, of course. Injuries didn't help, but he is also another additional player who can, if he comes back to the abilities that he can do, can actually add something to this team as well. So.
Yeah, and I think Enrique should also get a few minutes at some point. I feel really bad. I don't know what's going on with Enrique because he was injured, but then I know he recovered from the injury, and I think that he is fit to play, but he's not getting any minutes at all, and it worries me a little bit because, more than anything, just his morale, his state of mind. I think he must be really, really kind of bummed out. So I think we need to find some minutes for Enrique, or send him on loan in the winter break, because you can't have him. He basically isn't getting any minutes at all, which is a little bit.
I think like with so Endrick is also one of my other favorite players as well, because just when he gets the ball and he runs, like, man, he's short. He's not the biggest, but he's strong.
He's like a
he
bull.
is strong.
Yeah.
And technically sound, honestly. So I really do see him be like a top striker. The only issue is I really don't think he's going to get any playing time this season if he stays at Madrid, because we've already solved that the fronts, the forward positions, and Rodrigo's not getting minutes. Gonzalo Garcia is not really getting minutes. And if you do want to have somebody on, between Gonzalo Garcia or Endrick, you would probably prefer to have Gonzalo Garcia because he's a different profile and he adds something else. Endrick gives you more of like, what Vinicius can offer you, what Rodrigo can offer you, what Mbappé can offer you, right? So if Gonzalo Garcia is not barely getting any minutes, I really don't see any spot for Endrick. So I do think going out on loan will be the best thing for him, because I honestly rate Endrick. I think he's going to be like a top striker. Whether it's for truly Madrid, I don't know, because we have Mbappe. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. He needs to. I mean, even if he goes on loan, but he needs to play. And I think I agree with you. He's got a lot of power. He's put so much power in his shots. He's a good player. So I totally agree with you. Yeah. So
I don't think going on loan for only 6 months would benefit him. He should go on loan for 1.5 years from now on. 2 seasons minimum to prove himself. 6 months to get his confidence back, and 1 season to prove that he's that player to come back in Madrid, just like Brahim did. Brahim did 2 seasons at and he came back.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for him at the moment.
Yeah, no, I do. I feel
because I
was saying no. I went to his presentation, Enrique, here in the Bernabeu, and the kid was crying. He was so emotional. And to think about where he is now, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I think as well, like, for him, he's obviously going to be thinking, okay, Gonzalo Garcia, getting more minutes than him. Massanto Ono just arrived, playing every single game, basically. But the thing is, Endrick is a striker, and he needs to play in that striker role, right? I wouldn't really have him out on the wing, and I don't think, maybe if we didn't have, let's say, Vinny on the left, and you maybe had Mbappe and then Endrick on the right, then you can then have somebody more of a playmaker on the left side. But because of the profiles we have, and we have quite a few profile clashes in the Madrid team, and that's been one of the issues the last few years. So we buy the best players and the up and coming players, but then some of them are the same profiles. And it's like, okay, Xabi Alonso, figure it out. Whereas like before, I feel like we would actually pinpoint an issue that we have, and then you would actually go out there and get that player, right? But Madrid do have muscle, but they don't have that muscle anymore, right? In terms of going out there and getting a Rodri back in the days, right? Or going up, because now you have these state-owned teams, money-wise, and also, players do seem to love also playing for these teams as well. So that's another thing as well.
Yeah. That's why when Mendy comes back in the team, I think his position, if Xabi Alonso tries these formations, would be to play 3 at the back, and he would be on the left side instead of being the left back as he used to be. I don't think he's going to bring anything offensively, but defensively, we know he's the best in our
He's-
teams. Playing
he's-
3 at the back on the left side would suit him pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a reliable defender. He's a, historically, he's been a very reliable defender, but he doesn't, he gets injured a lot, unfortunately. And he doesn't participate as much in attack as Carreras. Carreras, I mean, he loves to go up. I mean, he's every single attack, Carreras will go all the way up. Mendy tends to sort of hold his position a little bit more in the back. But yeah, it's good to have him back for sure.
It's probably because Vinny remembers Benzema told him not to give him the ball.
And from then, Vinny, boom, excelled. He listened and then became a better player.
Yeah. It changed everything. After that, Vini just exploded.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh man. So what do you think about I guess our new signings then, right? Who has been your standout between Carreras, Hausen, Massanto Ono? I guess you could almost put in like Arda Güler because now he's playing, right? He's playing. Giving chances. Trent as well coming in as well.
Yeah, Trent. I mean, Trent has been the one that I think is having a harder adaptation. He, even when he was fit to play, he wasn't quite gelling going forward. He wasn't quite. He was the one that I think is having a slower time adapting. But I think the other players are fantastic. What I talk about this a lot with my uncle. It's amazing in today's football how mature the young players are. It's really amazing. When you look at Carreras, if you look at Huijsen on the ball or Carreras on the ball, they have such, I mean, and of course other players in other clubs like Lamine, these players are really young, but they're so composed when they have the ball at their feet. They make good decisions. They don't panic. They have the maturity of like a 30-year-old, but these are kids. So I think the quality of young players today is incredible. I think Huijsen is an excellent center back, just magnificent. Carreras, I'm learning more about now because, I didn't know that much about him, but I think he's really good. He runs a hell of a lot. He's very quick, backtracks a lot, recovers really well, loves to go forward, loves to join the attack, links up really well with the players in front of him. Carreras, I think, is wonderful. Huijsen's great. And Mastantuono is, odd, but very talented, but just needs to kind of fix a few things here and there. Yeah. But I'm very happy with all the signings. I think they're all good. I think Trent is the only one that I think needs a little bit more work.
I agree.
I think with Trent's, I think it was really an emotional thing, right? Because him making the decision to leave Liverpool, and as well like the backlash he also received for making that decision, right? A lot of people are not happy. So I think that is also playing a toll a little because Trent, I think for the games he has played, defensively hasn't really done anything wrong, and that's what we were all kind of worried about with Trent. We know his abilities, right? It was defensively, he struggles. But I think the biggest surprise for me has been just his shyness and not using his gift, his right foot. So not finding those passes from deep, not getting those high positions, linking up with Mbappe. Well, we did see, I think, an assist from Trent for Mbappe, but that was what I was kind of sure that we would see, first off, right? Defensively, okay, that would improve, but then offensively, he'll be offering us that thing. But he hasn't offered that thing, and then now it's but that's literally your talent, that's your gift, so you have to offer that because defensively, you're not the best defender. We understand that, but you offer so much going forward, but you're not at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the word you used is the perfect word. Shy. Yes. He just seems shy. I totally agree. I don't understand why he's not making those kind of aggressive runs. He feels very tentative. Even when he's going to make a cross, he feels like he's doubting himself a lot. So I agree. He needs to get rid of that shyness and be more aggressive, more adventurous. Yeah, I totally agree. Maybe it's just a matter of time. a few, give him a few more matches, and I think that'll come back.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope so too.
Reece James would have been a better choice.
Oh man, Reece James. Whew. It's unfortunate, man. Honestly,
how old is he? How old is Reece James? Isn't he?
Is he probably around the same age, maybe a bit younger, maybe.
Really?
All right, let's have a look.
I think they're right. I think same age, yeah. Like,
So what, like 20?
The only thing with James is like, injuries. That was the main thing. He's 25.
25.
Yeah. Probably
I thought he was older.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But he is now playing more frequently now for Chelsea, right? So maybe he gets back to his level, because I think for him, I remember seeing him like the debates, like for the England right backs. Do you choose Trent? Do you choose James? Do you choose Walker? Do you choose Trippier? Like all amazing right backs. And like James, man, he offered you everything. Like at that time, prime Walker, I would still choose prime Walker because he was just a cheat code. Every time, man, he was just a cheat code defensively, with the speed. But James attacking, scored you goals, gave you assists, was an outlet. Defensively, he was sound, he was rigid. It was hard to get by him, right? So he actually kind of, I think, in terms of what he offers you, he's kind of like Carvajal, because he's good both defensively and attacking as well, right? Carvajal can do all those things, So James may be technically better, and maybe in terms of like goal scoring, obviously more, but both solid right backs, So it's a shame, but I think Trent will get to his heights. We saw that Liverpool. We saw what he can do over there, and if he actually steps up, maybe it might take a season, but if he really steps up, and then now you have him feeding Mbappe, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, score predictions against Getafe?
1-3.
1-3.
1-3.
And scorers?
2 from Kylian, 1 from Mastantuono.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But Kylian gonna play that game? Is he gonna start?
Well, even if he comes on, he's my bet. Maybe in the last 30 minutes. It just popped in my head. I can't explain it. What do you guys think?
Getafe, it's always a tough game. I think 1-0. 1-0 Mbappe as well.
Okay. Well, we'll take it. 3 points.
I was going to go for 3-0. I think Mbappe scores a brace, and hopefully Vinny continues his goal scoring run just to help with that confidence. So yeah. All right. So I think to close it off, our predictions for El Clásico.
3-1.
Is Madrid gonna win? Is it gonna be a draw? 3-1? Okay.
I'm gonna do another 3-1.
Another 3-1.
And I think Vini scores 2.
Okay. Mbappe only won, yeah?
Only 1 against Barca.
I would see a goal actually from Valverde on that game, just to prove everybody that he's back.
Excellent.
I think we'll win. I think defensively we have been sound, but I think maybe Barcelona might test us depending on who's playing. But I think Rafinha will be there, Lamal will be there. If not, even Rashford. He's been performing, scoring goals and assists. I think maybe I'll go for a 3-2 because we did suffer against Atletico, but I do think that we can penetrate that high line, and I would like to see Arda Güler making his claim in this team and really showing us what he can do against Barcelona. Getting his goal, getting his and getting his assist. I want him to be like, okay, this is I'm stepping up now, right? I'm stepping up. So
I would love to see that.
All
Yeah.
All right, Miguel. Thank you for joining us on this episode. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Solly and Steph. Great to meet you guys. And the invitation is open. Come to Madrid. We'll go watch a game together.
Yeah, we come in.
Thank you. Yeah. And pleasure as always, Steph.
All right, guys. Stay in touch.
All right, guys.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Adios.